The question of what state we're in is a largely contested one, and rightly so. Are we actually in late capitalism, as many people tend to believe, and is this physically post-modernity, or, are we sort of in precursors to stages we already claim to be, or are we, further along, is functionalist capitalism, already out the window, which would put us, beyond sort of late capitalism? Are we sort of in some other, position that we don't really have a name for, that is more so a really existing social system, like how in end stages of the USSR it wasn't really socialism, it wasn't really anything in particular, which is really existing as it was? And are we sort of just this culmination of everything? Because yes, the recent events of the large state players in this world are, aligned with certain aspects of concepts we've defined already. It really does seem like a hodgepodge of random things really going on and hoping for some kind of conclusion. Like, it does seem like that late stage capitalism as we often define now as, but it could also, be something very different, and it could also be something far beyond, it could be straight up simulation. Like, it could be, there's no denying it. Like, we have no way of confirming what stage we're in. We can take modern events and we can confer them with defined concepts, but they just become ideologies, really. We only, take bits and pieces. We can't take everything that happens and define it by one moment and say, oh, this is now, and once we've done that, that would take ages to do. It becomes a different moment, and how quick are these changes? Capitalism has developed largely, society develops even faster. How are we not to tell when a huge shift has happened if it's a shift of sort of the unconscious? Are these changes happening? Where exactly are we, not just politically but socially, not just economically but culturally? How fast are we moving, and where will we stop? Which direction are we going? What's sort of next? What's next and what's now? Where are we? And I know time is sort of an unnecessary concept, because it really doesn't add anything. It just kind of point marks, basically. But still, we live in a world where it's a common accepted linear fact, so we sort of have to go by it, even if we can, immediately devalue it so greatly. Like, what is this present moment? And the present doesn't really exist, because the present is constant jumping. We can never really find ourselves in the present, because once we kind of realize we're in the present, that moment of realization is in the past. So it's just really sticky and hard to point exactly where we are and what we are and how exactly this is to be defined, or what it can be defined, or if it can even be defined. Is it a possible act, or are we just, pissing in the wind trying to, because of how complex, ever-changing, and sort of beyond the human, labeling system the actual world is. And, thinking of it, sometimes I take the concepts and the ideologies and how we define the world and think, well, these have just been plastered onto this, body of celestial beings and physical beings and, atoms and stuff. What if it's something completely different, and this is just one path we've gone down mistakenly, and everything else is something so much more abstract, so much more beyond this? We only think because we're made to think this way and that, or whatever, and everything is some kind of far more abstract, existence. It's not meant to be like this. It's not meant to be capital. It's not meant to be housing. It's not meant to be, social. It's not meant to be, humanistic as we define humans. It's meant to be something else. It's not meant to be intellectual. It's meant to be something else. What if it's something abstract? What if it's something more energy based? What if we aren't meant to be this, and we're just in a full state? We've pushed ourselves too far down a wrong line. And is there a way back? Is there a right way to live? Is there a supposed way? Is there an appropriate way? Is there a best way? Is there something, that we were meant to be, that we maybe are or aren't, or are going towards? What are the stages of civilization? What is civilization? Where are we meant to be? And where are we? I've just overloaded you with questions there, a bit of a catharsis rant, but still, I couldn't define it, and I don't think any of you could. So I guess it's up to anyone. Anyone's guess is best, I suppose.